least 37 people have died after heavy flooding in Indian-administered Kashmir. Local authorities say at least 200 others are still missing. Floods were triggered by a cloudburst. Rescue teams are expected to face difficulties reaching the affected areas after roads connecting it to the main city had already suffered damage following days of heavy storms. For more on this story, we can go across to correspondent Navodita Kumari, standing by in New Delhi. Navodita, good evening. What's the latest where you are?
Good evening. Yeah, absolutely devastating images are coming in from Chashoti village in Kishtwar district in northern state of Jammu and Kashmir. We have seen that rescue and search operations are going on with teams from the Army, Air Force, and National Disaster Response Forces being at the site. And we know that there has been, as you just mentioned, raining incessantly. And to make things worse, the meteorological department has issued yellow alert in the area in the next 24 hours. So it's going to further complicate and make things very challenging for the rescue teams. Local reports say that many of the injured who have been rescued and injured are in critical condition. And there are reports that there were at least 500 people in the area. It's a densely populated area, and at least 4 villages have been impacted, and many houses and vehicles have also been damaged in this incident. And we know that this comes during a pilgrimage season. There is a Hindu shrine near Chashoti village, and many of the people were headed to that shrine when this calamity hit. So for now, the true scale of the devastation from this cloudburst will only be clear in the coming days. But for now, what is sure is that there is a strong fear that the death toll will further climb.
Navodita, these floods in Kashmir come just, 10 days after floods also in the Himalayas, this time in the state of Uttarakhand. We're seeing more and more of these kinds of disasters. Is this all down to climate change?
Well, according to environmentalists who have been studying the Indian Himalayas for decades, they say, of course, the rising temperatures due to global warming and fast melting glaciers have contributed to frequent landslides and floods. But what for them is warning is the large-scale infrastructure projects going on the Himalayan region. Remember, the Himalayas are still young, evolving, and geologically active. There are frequent earthquakes in the Himalayan region. So in this unstable mountainous region, when there are large-scale projects like the railways which involve 50 kilometers of tunneling or 100 kilometers of tunneling, it further destabilizes the region. And also if there are wide roads like we saw in Uttarakhand, so for environmentalists, these are worrying signs. They say there can be infrastructure development, but it should be done in a scientific way. There should be a scientific way of tunneling, and because we have seen the authorities use dynamites, for example, in an altitude above 3,000 meters, which for them is absolutely disastrous. So when these infrastructure development projects are happening, what they do, they take out the debris from these tunnels or whatever, and they dump them in the rivers. So when floods water come, the rivers have no way to flow, and this creates cascading effect which wipes out villages. What we saw in 2021 in Chamoli, where 200 people were killed because of a sudden flash flood. And also remember in 2023, the town of Joshimath in Uttarakhand, it started sinking, and the environmentalists pointed out, look, there are so many hydropower projects and other development projects which is leading to this disastrous effect. There were over 800 houses which developed deep cracks, and the whole town just started sinking, and the town was declared a disaster zone. So for the environmentalists and experts who know the Himalayas, they really want that any infrastructure development, it should be done in a way way that respects the geography and the fragile ecosystem of the Himalayas.
It's really worrying,
So
isn't it?
many of these, they say, is quite a man-made disaster, and not just because of climate change or global warming.
Navodita, thank you very much for that, Navodita Kumari reporting there from New Delhi.